Hey everyone, Mike Harris, Director of Public Policy for Gun Owners Action League. Today I am here to talk to you about something that is uniquely New England, and that is our town form of government. Unlike most states outside of New England, that, you know, even small towns have a mayor and a city council and all that, we do things quite differently here in Massachusetts and New England. We have a board of selectmen in most towns that act as the main executive branch of the town. They're not career politicians. I can tell you that from experience. I was on my local board of selectmen in 2006 up in North Reading. And they are not career politicians, most of them. Most towns don't pay their board of selectmen. Some of them get a stipend. You know, there are the outliers that do pay them, but, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, on the flip side, they deal with quite a bit of goings on in town. Most boards of selectmen will then hire a town administrator or a town manager to, do the day-to-day operations and act as the manager of the town. Some town charters have, a more powerful town administrator. Some have a weaker one. You know, it all depends mostly on the personality of who that town manager is and who the chair of the board of selectmen at the time is. You know, there's all that political interplay. But the big piece and where stuff actually gets done is town meeting. You know, the circus. And it is about to be town meeting season in Massachusetts. Just a little bit of information. If you don't know when your town meeting is and when it will be, check your town's website. You'll also receive a copy of the town meeting warrant in the mail. Take a look at that, get to know your local officials and what's on it. You can even watch local board meetings and stuff on cable access or in YouTube in some towns. Take a look, see what they have, what's available. Check your local news sources like the Patch or Community Advocate to try and figure out where you can watch this stuff and see it, and just keep an eye on it. It's important. You don't really get much more local than your town. Additionally, there are two types of town meetings in Massachusetts. There are open town meeting and representative town meeting. Open town meeting allows anyone of voting age who is registered to vote to go in and participate in the meeting. You get voting rights, on the floor for voice votes and roll call votes, and you also get the ability to speak on the floor on some items if you would like to do so. And representative town meeting is just that. Neighborhood representatives are voted on and sent to town meeting to vote on their electorate's behalf, just like the legislature, where we will send state reps and state senators to go and vote on our behalf. Find out who your local town meeting rep is, get to know them, and if you don't know them, find out who they are. Just go talk to them. It's important to know who they are and who's going to be your voice in these rubber meets the road type issues. Like I said, just like it sounds, it's the legislative body for the town. Non-voters can also go and observe town meetings in whatever town you feel like it. You just don't get to vote or speak on issues usually. Some towns let you speak on stuff. You have to identify yourself and register beforehand, all kinds of stuff. But, again, that's something to take a look at if you have an interest in doing that. Also, before you go, take a look at the rules about signage and, certain political clothing or things like that before you go, especially if you're there for a specific purpose. You don't want to be there for something, be identified as a part of a group, and then get kicked out or something like that. It's just one of those things. Despite how you might feel about it, it is what it is. We all have to kind of play the game sometimes. Additionally, pay attention to your local ordinances and what they might mean. So when you get your town meeting warrant in the mail, it will have a list of all of the items that they're going to be voting on in that town meeting, or even that special town meeting. And I believe it's mandated that you have to get it, that each household gets a copy. So be on the lookout for those. They're usually either red or a gray book, about that thick. When it comes to the Second Amendment, local town meetings and ordinances are another front in the war on your civil rights. Over the course of the last few years, we have seen what we're kind of calling test cases, and even some legitimate pushes to use municipal zoning, especially to try and push gun shops, dealers, manufacturers, ranges, any other firearm-related business out of town by means of just making it so that there's nowhere in the municipality for them to do business or even set up shop. It forces us into a weird position where there are laws that protect certain unsavory types of businesses from being zoned out of town, and it kind of puts us in the same category as some vices. And this is a civil right. That's not right to do that on its face, but traditionally, people are scared of what they don't understand a lot of times. There has, however, this is kind of a hopeful thing, been some serious success in this area of pushing back on these things. But the downside is there's no moratorium on this stuff. They will keep coming year after year, and depending on whether or not you can get people to town meeting to vote for your issue or against an issue, they could get success one year, or they could fail one year and get success the next year just based upon the fact that people don't show up. So unfortunately, we need to stay vigilant on this stuff. Some towns, I'll hold up Westford as an example. Big Al and his group, Westford 2A, those guys are doing yeoman's work when it comes to this area, especially in Westford. They are the example. If anybody is having a situation like this in a town and wants to talk to Big Al Prescott, please give us a call. We can talk to him and get you guys in touch, and he can kind of give you their roadmap for this stuff, because I don't have a better example than that group. Westford 2A is awesome. Big Al Prescott is they're killing it. They're doing great. They've beaten a new zoning reg, I think 3 or 4 times at this point. I don't know. I've lost count watching them, but they're always there. They're always getting people to show up, and they're putting in the work. So again, if anybody needs help with an issue like this and needs to talk to somebody who has expertise in this, let us know, and we can put you in touch with Al if he has the ability to work with you. Hope I didn't speak for you there, Al, but you guys are you set yourself up by being such a success. Another few towns that this has happened that we've seen it is in Sudbury. We've seen it in Mansfield. Newton and Wellesley are a little bit of a. I believe Wellesley is a town form of government, but I don't believe Newton is, and I could be wrong. But we've seen these type of ordinances pop up in those municipalities. So if you want to take a look, those are kind of the best examples. It's Westford, Sudbury, Mansfield, Newton, and Wellesley. Those are just the ones off the top of my head that I remember. But on the other side of the coin, on a positive note, there's also the possibility in the new law that municipalities can opt out of some of the Commonwealth's new regulations surrounding sensitive places. So in Chapter 135, there is a regulation that says, that refers to all municipal buildings as sensitive places, meaning that you can't carry a firearm in there. But it also says in the new statute that towns, upon, their vote or however they do their business, have the ability to opt out of those regulations. Towns can pass an ordinance to allow carrying in municipal buildings if they so choose. Otherwise, the law forbids it, like I said. I know Plymouth has, the Plymouth Board of Selectmen voted to put an item on the town meeting warrant the other day. I don't know if that's finalized yet, but Plymouth's working on it. Pembroke is working on it. Those are the 2 examples I have off the top of my head. There's another couple of towns that I know are working on it as well, but we'll see what happens with those. We're not really sure what the strategy is going to look like for those yet, so we're kind of keeping an eye on those 2 situations to kind of see how it could work. If it's got to come from the Board of Selectmen or the zoning board or something, what mechanism will work, because some towns have the ability, or I would say all towns have the ability for a citizen to get a petition going to get something on the town meeting warrant. So I don't know if that's another avenue that people would want to pursue as well. However, that leads me to my next my next item, where take a look at your town charter if you do want to do this, because that will outline what the process looks like for you to go about getting a petition done to get an item on the town meeting warrant. Some towns, like I said, this could go both ways. We could get good proposals and bad proposals. Some towns, it's as few as 10 people that need to sign a petition to get it onto town meeting. Some towns it's a lot more, but the reason is that a lot of, I'm not going to say the majority or all, I don't really know the number, but there are a number of municipalities where the town charter hasn't been changed in this area since the town was founded. So, the circumstances back then were much different than they are now. So, 10 people could have been a lot of people back then, where today it is not. But, take a look at that stuff if that's something you want to change. I know there's a process by which the legislature would have to get involved to change, legislatively at the state level, the charter of municipalities, but that's a whole nother process. I'm just saying, take a look at what it takes to get something on the ballot, or onto town meeting floor, because it can either be a good thing where, hey, only 10 people have to sign this petition to get carry in municipal buildings, but also only 10 people have to sign this petition to get a new zoning regulation on town meeting floor that would, close all of the ranges in town. So, it's a double-sided coin. Or I should say a double-edged sword in that area. The last thing I will say is that we here at Goal are happy to help with any of this stuff. We just need to know about it. So we are happy to send out alerts to all of our members in the area, or non-members, whatever we can do to help. We are happy to do so to fight against these zoning regs, or to help with, positive items in town meeting. But we depend, we can send out alerts, things like that, but we depend on our members to let us know that some of these things happen. Like, not to make any excuses, but we're a small staff, and there's only a couple of us that work on these matters, and we don't have the bandwidth to focus on 351 cities and towns. So if there's something going on in your town and you need Goal's help, or there's anything that we can do to assist you, please let us know, and we will do that. Like I said, this is a many-front war, and this is one of the big ones. It's a place where things get done that a lot of people don't really consider to be as impactful as it is. Your local elections are really where the rubber meets the road, and it can really affect larger issues, even if it's on a smaller scale. So, the Second Amendment is in the Constitution. It's a federal matter, but the state can regulate it, and then the town can also regulate it. So there's a lot of insidious stuff that can get through at the local municipal level that could really hurt us and hurt you and damage your civil rights in this state. And in order to head that off, we need your help. So in addition to this being informational, this is also a call to action. Check out goal.org for some more information on that stuff. And like I said, go to your town website, take a look around, explore it. If you have time to read the charter or whatever, do that. Check out your local patch or your community advocate, or your local newspaper if you have one, and see if you can find a way to, if you can't attend not town meeting, but you should always attend town meeting if you can. But if there's no way for you to attend a selectmen's meeting or a zoning board meeting or something like that, and something pops up, there are ways to watch those if you have the time to do so. So, like I said, in addition to us advocating at the state level, this stuff is incredibly important and is extremely impactful, and, everybody's watching these things. So, like I said, please take a look, get yourself informed about who your representatives are, who your local officials are, and what impact they could have on your civil rights. And go do something about it. And if we can help, please reach out, and we will do anything we can. So, thank you very much.